Hi y'all, and welcome to 4C Farms. My name is John, and behind me is an Allis Chalmers 8050 tractor. I've never heard this tractor run, but all I know is the customer that brought it to me has already had the oil pan off, and he said that the wrist pin bushing in number 5 rod is bad. So I'm supposed to go in, pull all the pistons, rebush all the rods, look at the rods and mains, and whatever else it needs. We'll see what we find. I've never heard the thing run. So let's get it in the shop and get to work. Well, my little 60 horse John Deere industrial tractor didn't have quite enough meat and potatoes to it to push this tractor up the hill going into my shop. It's a little incline, but you probably can't see it. So that's all right. I managed to get it around here where it's fairly lined up with the door and straight. So I got Old Faithful sitting back there with the electric winch, the wireless remote. We'll just suck her on in the rest of the way, or drag the pickup backwards, one of the two. All right, I don't know how well y'all are gonna be able to see this. Here's number 2, the companion cylinder to number 5. If it'll focus a little bit. It's nice and clean. I mean, you can see the rod and you can see the wrist pin. Everything looks good. Grease in the mouth. Come over to number 5. And there are chiclets poking out of the rod there. Hard to see on the camera, I suppose. But if we come way over here, bear with me, and look in our oil pan, well, if I can get a piece, chiclets. I imagine that's a wrist pin. So off with its head. Here's a tech tip for you. When you're draining coolant, if there's any way in the world you can get a hose on the drain cock, it sure makes it a whole lot less messy draining that stuff out, especially when the drain cock's 3 feet above the ground. Anyways, I'll bring y'all back when things get interesting. Alright, I got the hood completely off, muffler, and it's all took off, aspirators taken loose, intake tubes off. Most of the bolts on these muffler support brackets, they were all missing anyway, so guess I'll have to do something about that when I put it together. The only hard part on the muffler was these bolts, because they're so close to the turbo, they get so hot. They didn't want to come out, but they did. And this bolt that goes right here, it bumps up, you can't take it out, it bumps up and hits the pipe. So it's still with the muffler and the bracket. But moving right along, our next step here, I got all these insulators for these injector lines loose. I'm going to take all these injector lines off at the injectors and at the pump and hope that I can weasel these out without taking the exhaust manifold off, because I don't want to take the exhaust manifold off if I don't want to, or I don't want to take it off if I don't have to, because this is your oil cooler. And it's got a pipe that runs right here all the way up into this, and that blocks one of my exhaust manifold bolts, and this is part of the water pump, and I would just assume not take the water pump off. The exhaust manifold's not leaking, so if I can just leave it on the head, then we'll be doing good. I'm not doing any head work, I just got to get the head out of the way. So hopefully I can get all this off without taking this manifold off. So I got kind of smart, and I read in the service manual. The service manual doesn't say anything about taking the water pump off. For that matter, it doesn't say anything about taking the injector lines off. In fact, it shows a picture of pulling the head and leaving the injector lines on there. So that's what I'm going to do. So Allis Chalmers, in all their infinite wisdom, made this bolt that goes right back in here just the right length to where it'll come out of the head and clear this. And you pull it when you pull the manifold out. You just got to make sure it's in the manifold when you put it back in, and it'll go. Who'd ever thunk it? Man, for once in my life, I want to shake an engineer's hand. Moving right along. Well, I was going to video pulling the head off, but I got carried away. So it's off. There's the head. I cleaned it up in the parts washer that has diesel fuel in it. It's sitting there drying. It's so-so. It'll need all the finer points cleaned up. looking at the liners on this thing, if I can get in here, if you can see, it's okay. We'll see what the rings look like tomorrow. I'm done with it for the day. Tomorrow I'm gonna pull the pistons and rods out, and we'll see what the rings look like and what the rod bearings look like, and kind of decide what we're gonna do from there. All right, I got all the pistons out, heads off, cleaned up. Rods are over there with the new wrist pin bushings and a brand new rod. The whole reason this thing came here was for this one right here, number 5. If I can get some light. It's junk. Here, let me carry it out here. Wrist pin bushing, completely beat out of it, gone, dead, junk. Rod's junk. And to make it even worse, the piston's junk. Wrist pins are held in with snap rings, and you can see the pistons broke. The snap rings on neither side were held in by anything but good luck. Luckily, nothing came out. This chunk of piston that came out didn't hurt the cylinder wall. Everything in that hole is fine. So, new piston, new rod. We're going to rebush all the rest of the rods just because all those look fine, but one failed. So we're just going to do them all. So here we are underneath this thing. I shot video of rolling main bearings in, or at least I thought I did, but it's gone. I don't know what happened. But I got main bearings rolled in it and got the new piston and the new rod put in the number 5 hole. So now we're just going to put the rest of the pistons and rods in. Be putting this thing back together. When you get ready to rub the lube on your bearings, kind of check your fingers and make sure you don't have any grit. And when you're just working on a already run engine, it's easy to get grit. You don't want that grit in your assembly lube any more than you want it underneath the bearing. Oh, we got to lube that too. Keep getting ahead of myself. It's all a little easier on a fresh build, straight out of the machine shop where everything is clean. I just do that so rarely. Most of the work I end up doing is just like this, trying to get some more life out of an old worn-in machine. There we go. Okay, so all the pistons are just barely stuck in except for number 5, but it's already bolted up and torqued down. Now, because this is an inline 6, we can do these 2 at a time. We have companion cylinders. So what we're going to do is we're going to run number 2 down, bolt it up and torque it. And then we're going to rotate the crankshaft and either do 3 and 4 or 1 and 6, and then do the remaining 2. Well, I spent the last 10 minutes trying to find a easy way or a place to get this camera where I can work readily and you can see, but it's just not possible. So anyways, here's number 2. I've done wiped off the journal with a rag real good, push the piston down. You see it's just almost there, but I gotta have both hands to bring this rod down real careful where that bearing just seats over that journal. You don't want to nick it. That would be bad. So let me get that pulled down and then we'll move along. So I got the number 6 piston put in. I moved my camera to where it was sitting right here. So you could watch me push all the pistons down and get all the connecting rods put on the crank journals. You know, get it all torqued and in and everything else. Yeah, well, it didn't record. Again, me and this camera, we kind of have a love-hate relationship. Anyhow, by the way, that's the second time on this project that's happened. Missing important parts that I can't get back because, well, I'm not going to take it apart and put it back together again just for this. All the pistons are in. Oh, there's that pretty new one. Did. And we crawl under here. Turn on my headlight. They're all torqued. The oil pump's in. That was a trick. The oil pump, you have to put the oil pump in on this bracket. If I can get the light right somehow. Got to put the oil pump in on this bracket, but loose. And then this piece slides over this tube, and you got to bolt this up to the oil pump loose with a paper gasket, and then bolt the pickup tube up to the pump with the pump loose with a paper gasket, and then you can bolt the whole pump up to this bracket tight. On top of everything else, this bracket that holds the suction, the pickup tube, it was broke. It was cracked half in two, so I had to weld that. Yeah, I didn't get the footage of that either, sorry, but it's up there now. Everything's good, it's tight, hunky-dory. Some of it was a trick. I wish you could see it, but I apologize. That's just how it is. So there we are. Ease it down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Easy, easy. Whoa. Come on down. Whoever thought this style of gasket was a good idea? Pain in the butt. Man, that came out beautiful, actually. I don't even think I need to set something heavy on it. D goes to D, C goes to C. Like playing the alphabet game. B goes to B, A to A. Perfect. Let that set, get skinned over good where that's glued down. On the back, there's a ring that we're not messing with that seals it at the back of the pan. We're just going to end up siliconing that right before we stick it in there. It's going to be a few minutes. Run this valve lash. I like to just roll the engine around and adjust. That was a little tight. It didn't need much. Adjust them. There we go. While I got one valve open, adjust its mating valve. It's just the simplest and, in my mind, most accurate way to do so. And a lot of that comes from me messing with stuff, not stock camshafts in it, that throws the factory valve adjusting procedure out the window. So I've just kind of gotten in a habit of doing it this way. Look here, I can do this one too. Oh, I need to tighten, not loosen. Too much. Pretty good. So I'm just going through them and setting the lash to spec. And we're almost there. That might be a slightly better angle than just looking at my backside. Watch me wrestle this manifold. I think I got the manifold compressed. Come on, gasket, I need you back. Right there. See if we can get us a mechanical advantage. Here's a doozy. Ooh. By golly, I believe we got her started. I did. Oh, that's wonderful. That way, what I would consider upside down. Let's do it right there. Right there. All those go there. Huh. It's missing one. Let's get all the easy ones started first, so that the hard ones will be harder. Sounds like a good plan. Not tight, just kind of started good. All right. Ooh, did it really? Aha! Lost my balance. Oh. Hold on. All right. If I didn't know better, I'd say we was getting somewhere. There's the easy ones. Well, there you have it. She's all done. Just a couple days ago, it was sitting in my shop with no pistons or rods or anything in it. I apologize. All the footage of me rolling the main bearings, it just disappeared. I don't know what happened. It's just gone. I really hope that y'all like the video. If you do, please click like and subscribe. It helps me a lot. Doesn't cost you a thing. We love y'all and God bless.